Hello, everyone. Welcome to Push to Talk, episode 2, with X-Fort, Sir Cracker, Bulb, Sinister Pixel, and our guest tonight, Mr. Kknowley. How you guys all doing today?
I was expecting to introduce myself, but I'm doing good.
We'll just thrown off.
I introduce people around here.
I've been doing the same intro for the past 2 years.
Kknowley, give us an intro. I want to hear
What's
this
up, guys? Kknowley here. Welcome to it. No, I can't do that. That's awful.
Push to Talk, episode 2.
One day we'll get a perfect intro.
No, we won't.
There is
Give it like 2 years.
There is a fly sat on my pop filter right now.
Smack it.
No.
Let's hear.
It's gone. Let's go. Let's go.
Okay, so today we're going to be talking about the newest DLC in Payday 2. Is it the newest? Yeah, the Western Pack.
Yes.
And also Meltdown Heist, new XP systems, ideas for maybe a new skill tree, maybe just other Payday 2 stuff, and some Team Fortress 2 stuff that Bale wants to talk to you guys about. So, Western Pack. Guess, let's put you on the spot, Kknowley. What do you think about the Western Pack?
I don't even know how popular this opinion is, but I love it, and I came out with this immediately, and that's one of my more disliked videos. People were like, I don't know about this, but it'll grow on you. The Western Pack is it brings some different things that are a load of fun to use. They're not poorly balanced, so what's not to love except for the price tag.
$4.99.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I think the value is improving over time. I feel like they've cut the prices of the older DLCs that probably weren't necessarily still worth the full price.
Was that a sale or is that a permanent price?
That's a permanent thing.
They've gone.
And they've lowered the price of the actual game as well.
Yeah, it's now 15 quid.
Yeah.
I mean, no one buys it full price anyway, but
Yeah, G2A. or if we want a perfect story, back in the day when Payday was just announced, I was still a TF2 player, and I just unboxed my first ever Unusual. And at the time, I was like, oh my god, this is the best thing ever. I'm never going to trade this. Payday 2 is now available for pre-order. Yep, goodbye.
that's the saddest story I've ever heard.
So worth it.
I think I actually did pay full price for it.
Yeah, I paid full price as well. I got the pre-order.
I think I got it around. I think I got it in the winter sale or something.
Cheap bastard.
No, it was actually before the winter sale. I got it when it was 75% off.
Yeah.
I think it was at the start of Crime Fest I got it. But it was like 75% off or something.
No,
so
it was before Crime Fest, because I remember you bought it, and then I was there for ages going, oh my god, Bao, please play this game. I want you to play it because it's the best thing ever. And you're like, yeah, I'll get
maybe
round
sometime.
to it. Yeah, I'll get round to it eventually.
I started playing it around Crime Fest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're a Houston lover, not a Hoxton lover.
Well, I play Hoxton now, but yeah. Anyway.
Back to the
Western
subject.
Pack.
Western Pack, yeah? What does everyone else think? Don't just leave me on the spot.
Ben?
With mine...
Me and Ben kind of had the same thought because we first played it together.
Yeah.
See, I reckon that helps.
I
was sat on
hated
my
it
own
at first.
in my basement.
I think my mood had because I just came home from work and I was like I had $30 in my bank account and I was like fucking $5 for a Payday DLC and I downloaded it and I got on and I was already not in a good mood and I was like, Ben, this sucks, man. I can't believe I paid $5 for this. But as I played it more and I wasn't so biased on it, I like the bow the most, but I'm not gonna be using the Peacemaker. I do like the Repeater, but
The Peacemaker's it's not that. I enjoy it. It looks good, but it's not something I'm going to bring in on any Death Wish.
Yeah, it does high damage, but it's
so long to reload.
It feels clunky, but that's what they were going for. Western Pack, how do you think it compared to the previous one?
The Bronco.
The one with the flamethrower. No.
Oh god, the barbecue pack.
The barbecue pack.
I like the barbecue pack better.
With me, the barbecue packet, it's there's some good stuff in it, like the Molotovs, and I think they have buffed the fire rounds, whatever they're called now. I think they buffed them a little bit.
Incendiary rounds.
Incendiary
Dragon's
rounds.
Breath.
Dragon's Breath.
Yeah. They've made it so they can affect shields, but I also feel like I'm actually lighting enemies on fire a lot more frequently now with them. I don't know if that's just me.
No, Dragon's Breath does work a lot more now and is better. I did use it, but the reason why I think the barbecue pack is a must buy over the Western pack, the Western pack doesn't have any weapon that you absolutely need. That's a top tier weapon. People can argue that the Peacemaker, but the bow and arrow is good for stealth. But none of the weapons in there are a must buy. They're all kind of just more for the personality aspect of it. The barbecue pack had the Molotovs, which are, in my opinion, way better than grenades and dynamite. Because if you throw them in a choke point, it's good. You can kill up to like 5 or 6 shields with just one of them.
Yeah,
it's great.
I mean, the thing is, it lingers, which is great.
Yeah, and also it had the A12 top tier shotgun, maybe the best shotgun in the game. It's a must buy.
I mean, people have been all over my channel saying the bow is really strong with explosive rounds. It's just basically an RPG with a load of ammo.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that. I don't think it's as strong as they think it is. But I do think, 2 shots to a Skulldozer's mask isn't too bad.
I've heard about, when I first used the Western pack, I was like, what the fuck is this? The Peacemaker? Great. No Akimbo upset me.
Yeah.
That's what really upset me. But I used the bow. I couldn't aim with it, which... At first,
you don't have the explosive rounds. You can't tell the drop on it, can you?
But this is the thing. I hated the pack at first. I actually wrote a bad review about it immediately. I'm keeping it up here because that is my first.
I wrote that with you.
That is my first impressions. That was my first view on it. However, I was going to do a rant about it on a video, and I decided not to give it a little bit more time to sink in. And then I realised the thing is, the weapon pack this time takes a bit more thought to use it compared to the others. With all of them, it's just aim and shoot. The bow is really fiddly to aim with, but when you aim with it, it does feel satisfying.
Yeah, it feels good. All the weapons feel like they handle properly, don't they?
Yeah.
But it is weak. The bow itself is just terrible for loud. If you on stealth, it's perfect.
I like it loud with crits.
That's what I was about to say. The crit build is ideal for a bow.
But I recently did my my Lara Croft build and I used it. It is good with crits, but you really need to get headshots with it. And comparing it to an AUG or even a minigun, just any fully auto weapon, it's really bad compared to that. I mean, because it's obviously a single shot and you have to charge it up. Not really charge it, but you just kind of have to cock it back and shoot it. It's if you're surrounded by 3 or more enemies,
everyone is a pretty good bowman. I'll admit, they're very good considering they just died.
Yeah, but if you're surrounded by 3 or more enemies, you're not going to get out of that situation in less than 5 seconds, like you could with an assault rifle or something. You're going to have to kill one, go get cover, kill. It's just not that good.
Secondaries are strong though these days. You can run a locomotive, Gruber Kurtz, and use it as a utility weapon, which I always talk about as being something a way to deal with shields, a way to deal with even cloakers. It's not that bad against cloakers with frag rounds.
I love the bow against cloakers. It's awesome.
A
pro and a con with the bow is that you can't make skills to improve it. You can improve stability with leadership, but that's it. But also, you don't have to waste skill points on your primary. Say you're using an assault rifle, you're gonna, if you want to be pretty viable with it, you're gonna have to pick up Kilmer, which is 12 skill points if you ace it out.
Yeah, it's always the shotguns that are
plus with shotguns,
you need shotgun skills.
Yeah. That's what I like about the bow. You can spend more money on things like stun resistant and more sustainable skills versus. Well, I guess you kind of do have to put a lot of skills in. Like I picked up Gunslinger, which is pretty much Kilmer just for pistols, but I don't know.
I think it's weak. I think it's it's viable. It's nicely balanced and it's a lot of fun. You love spaghetti westerns. You're not gonna not pick up this pack, are you?
Yeah. I mean, the one thing which this is not to hate the pack. It's just me being me. I have a problem with the guns. The gun sounds in Payday don't sound as strong as they could be. And you watch the trailer, and the revolver has the most the most generic revolver sound ever, and it sounds great. In game, it sounds like trash. I spent all night getting the sound from Time Splitters just to push it over onto the game. And when I stream, people hate me for using it. It's just because it's that spaghetti western feel.
Yeah.
Ow, my ears.
That was impressive.
But another thing with the pack, I'm not sure. I know they're Western weapons, but it's been the last two packs have had a lack of attachments, and you get given them immediately. I can understand the achievement system was a bit weird. I personally liked it.
You could get them all in under an hour.
I love getting given them. I'll be honest, it makes making a video much easier.
For a video point, yeah, it makes sense, but then there's no feel of like, I need to trade, like I need to do something to get this attachment.
Do you know why I think they did it? It's because, I mean, it's the same with the mask. The achievements were much easier on this one, and they were much more centered around just using the weapons.
Yeah.
And it's because I think people weren't getting the full enjoyment out of the DLC. They weren't getting all their attachments. They weren't making the weapons as viable as they could. And they weren't, getting the aesthetic part, which, let's be honest, the Western pack has some pretty nice mask designs, which you wouldn't get to touch otherwise if the achievements were not accessible at all.
I do like the masks in the Western pack, which is weird for me to say, because whenever I look at a pack, I see the weapons, the attachments, I look at the masks and like, we've got so many of them now, I don't care. I'm just going to brush that along and look at the rest. But the masks this time are quite nice.
I only like one of them. I like the cowboy hat and the bandana.
Yeah, masks are so important to me, though, because, like, I run the Mask of the Day series, have done for ages, and I don't use any of my customizations. So the mask has to look nice, like, without anything, for me to wear it. So cowboy hat is just, like, perfect.
As for me, I've pretty much just worn the same mask for, like, God knows how long now.
Yeah. I mean, I'll always go back to the Mega Wolf, because that's just like my favourite mask.
That's your icon.
I've made it my thing.
Yeah.
But
when the Kawaii Skulldozer mask comes out, I'll be on it.
That was just the Kawaii Dozer is just the greatest thing.
I've got my pre-order for the bobblehead. It got set back a couple of times. It's coming sometime. I think it's 30th of May. Could be wrong.
Oh boy!
I thought they had already been shipped already.
No,
I thought they were out.
I'm pretty sure they got delayed. I hope they're not out because I have paid for it.
Hang on, you know what? I'm going to check the store really quick.
No,
I want to get a bag. The duffel bags are badass, and I also want to get a mug. Because the mugs are cool. But, so...
I think everyone knows what I want off the store right now.
A dildo.
Drilling in progress.
Yes.
I can't believe you said that on a video. But anyway, moving back on to...
Bobblehead Dozer is out by the looks of things.
It is out.
Yeah.
I've heard.
Please.
I've been hearing people
that's
getting them.
Oh no, items expected release date 22nd of July 2015.
Where is that?
It's status pre-order now.
Goddamn overkill.
Has it gone down in price? What have you done to me, overkill?
oh yeah, 22nd of July. Yeah, 22nd of July 2015 is what I've got here. Okay, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
There's no way they're going to make enough of those little bastards.
I think one of the benefits that we have about this weapon pack is this is the first time that Bao has never actually bought the pack.
Yeah.
Like Bao owns, I think, pretty much almost all the packs now, but he hasn't bought this one. So
I have every single piece of DLC except the Western pack.
So you play pub games like me, Bao.
Yes.
I'm really curious to see what you think of this, because I know from my point of view, I find it sketchy when someone uses a bow and this is a crit build. But when you've played online, like, how useful have your teammates been when they've been using those weapons?
That's a really
honestly, it might just be because they're pub games, but I've not really had a lot of. I've not really seen a lot of good in the Western pack in general. I haven't really seen people using them much, and when I have seen people using them, they're not really using them to the full effect.
They're barely viable for like overkill.
Yeah,
I brought bow with explosive rounds on a death wish mission. I got called out for it, and I basically got carried by the Gruber cuts. But the bow was there.
Okay, this is the issue. I have two issues with it. First of all is like the lack of viability. Second of all is I'm going to bring up an interesting point here. I've said this to Ben. I feel like the trailer for this pack is straight up, undeniably false advertising.
Yeah, it missells it, doesn't it?
It missells it. It implies that you can get akimbos.
It's the first thing I thought was, yes, akimbo revolvers. Overkill never mentioned it on their website. It never said like.
I thought we were just going to get akimbo Broncos.
When I was going through the webpage, I was like, oh, they didn't say about anything about akimbo. They didn't say anything about akimbo. I'm just gonna hope.
I would have bought. I think the lack of akimbo revolver was the one thing which put me off in buying it completely, and also the fact that dynamite is pretty much just a reskin of grenades. I think
it's an upgrade.
It's an upgrade. They work fairly similar.
That seems a little.
They do, and I think the Molotov's still better.
The only difference I've noticed, because I don't personally like the Molotovs. I've been using the Molotovs now. I can see what you mean. Yeah, it's great for area of denial, but I still have my issues with it. I prefer to just throw a grenade and it just blows.
What issues?
Like with the flame, you've got like a pool of like fire in front of you.
That's true.
I'd rather just throw the grenade, get rid of them, and run.
Yeah, I think the idea is you don't really like the fact that the area denial also like denies you that space.
Yeah.
But for example, it's useful say we were doing Meltdown or something, which well, I guess we'll talk about that later. But the front of the warehouse.
Oh yeah, I can see it being useful.
That's a great place to throw a Molotov.
Yeah.
If
Perfect example for Molotov is Diamond. Say you activate the gas and you're waiting for drill. To drill in there. That is just God.
Oh, that is beautiful.
That's perfect.
Something that we need to talk about though, where we should use certain pieces of equipment on certain maps. I mean, let's talk Firestarter. Enemies tend to on day one they tend to all go over the fences.
Yeah.
Molotovs destroy at those fences. We see the same thing. They've got a repeated spawn point in Meltdown, right over the wall, entering right in front of the main warehouse.
Yeah.
Easy. It's spawn killing,
Yeah.
It's a strong usage of it. I don't know how much I like it. I think it's kind of like this is the negative of Overkill's enemy spawns.
Yeah.
But if you're running a build with no explosives on it, no way to deal with bulldozers really. Grenades or dynamite have to be the way you're thinking about going, which is good. It adds some diversity, doesn't it?
I feel like dynamite's a little bit heavier than the grenades. Have you guys noticed that at all?
Yeah, I think so.
There's another big thing about dynamite which we haven't mentioned, and I think I was playing with you, Bao, when I found this out. But I used to have this tactic where with a grenade, I'd throw it and shoot.
Yeah,
you throw it in midair and you'd shoot something. And
you can't do that with dynamite.
Dynamite, you can't shoot. No one can blow it up.
And I guess that is one positive thing. That's one thing which annoys me about Molotovs and grenades. Sometimes I'll just be like, oh, there's a group of enemies over there firing at me. I'll throw a grenade or a Molotov to clear them all out. Whoops, I'm on fire.
I've had the Molotov glitch from me before where I threw it in the air and there was just flames floating in midair.
Oh, yeah.
I've never fully understood how the engine could figure that out, but apparently...
All I'm remembering right now is that glitch we had when we tried out Meltdown for the first time, when we just flying. So watching a footage of that made me laugh.
That's a big problem with Payday, the desync issue.
Yeah, especially now with the cars.
When Dynamite was first announced though, and I was like, what's this going to be? And I made some random guesses for what it could possibly be. For whatever reason, I thought it was going to work like C4 and we're going to have this little plunger in our pockets. I don't know why I thought this was going to be an option.
A timed explosive would have been cool if you could have
I think so.
It would have been an awesome animation.
Like a Wile E. Coyote thing.
If,
oh my god, that would have been great.
I honestly, I can see why it's not like this, but I was kind of hoping it would be impact based. So as soon as it impacted on any surface, it would explode.
It has to be different in a
that's the one thing. If there's another explosive grenade, I'd want it to be an impact based explosive.
I think it's a real weakness of the pack. I mean, I think I was kind of looking at it with the view of the repeater, which is just it's my dream weapon. I love it. Yeah. It feels so good. I love the scope on it.
Yeah.
And I've come from a background of a lot of first-person shooters.
I definitely agree the scope makes the big difference. The iron sights are horrible to use.
So I actually watched General Badass's video about this, and I thought it was really interesting, his insight into it. He was talking about the using the iron sight himself. It was his preference. But then he also made a really good point that the fact that this thing shoots fast and has much better stability means that you can stay aimed in and it's not going to kick up. Well, that's really important when you have this really nice magnified scope. You can just stay aimed down sight and take out corridors quite nicely with it. I think it's a factor that does give it an edge over other potential snipers. It feels very different. And I genuinely think the repeater has some death wish viability, if you're good with it, if you're accurate.
Okay. There is one other thing, actually, I want to bring up about the Western pack. And I know the second I bring this up...
Yeah, I know what you're going to say.
Okay,
I'm not going to say anything for this. I'm just going to keep quiet.
I'm not actually going to, bring it up. I'm going to ask your opinion. The bow. Do you feel like it breaks the immersion of the game at all?
No.
No?
I stopped caring about this a while ago. when I
Am
started
I the
making
only
mod videos.
person in the Payday 2 community who still cares about immersion?
Because I said this.
No.
I said,
Who cares
the
about
issue with
immersion?
this mod is it could potentially affect your immersion. And my comment section on that video was filled with Payday? What immersion?
Half of the
So I'm
enemies,
just like, whatever.
Okay,
half of the enemies are running through walls and falling down ceilings. And there's no immersion.
I think Overkill knows the game is a bit silly. So I think they're embracing it. I
Yeah.
do think the possibility of them adding like more of a modernized recurve bow, like you've seen in games like Far Cry.
like fortified compounds and
Yeah.
That
So the-
should have been an attachment for it. That would
An
have
That's
upper,
what I-
an
that's
upper
what I
receiver
thought.
for the bow.
But
Yeah.
I think they wanted to keep it as Western as they could, and so they chose not to.
I love the way I said the name of the TF2 weapon, by the way. Did anyone clock that?
I did. Also, just thinking about it, I know I completely just... Whenever Bal says immersion to me, my brain's just, oh, for fuck's sake. Because immersion went long ago.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Payday's immersion
At
just
Payday,
went
the Heist was a
AWOL.
more immersive game in many
Like
ways.
I'm willing to admit that like there are a lot of elements in Payday which are a bit unrealistic. Like I think when I said this to Ben initially, what he argued with me was like well you've got dodge, but the thing is that's to me feels a lot more subtle than someone walking around with a big fuck off wooden bow. You know what I mean?
I
do you
just
think?
thought I could add on to that.
Go on.
Okay, I know I said like dodge ruins immersion, which if we're going to look at this in the immersion way, think about this. There's a SWAT turret shooting you. You're sitting there taking a shit. You're just there with a newspaper taking a shit, and you're
It's
just
shooting
crouching,
airsoft
and
at
it's just shooting you, and you're dodging it by just sitting still.
It's an airsoft.
Where's
turret,
the
that's what it is.
immersion?
I know like that's I'm not going to admit that like that can break immersion, but it's a lot more subtle than the bow is what I'm saying.
I would agree. Just like Watch Dogs, and then the door coming down, and just like 4 heisters with a bow and a dynamite. Like, yeah, you're going down. I would definitely agree. Like, it's a bit silly.
I just
The
think
bow
they
on
have
White Xmas feels good.
double standards. They
It's
don't.
Yeah.
They don't
That's-
really. They don't mind. Overkill's silly. Or a bit
Like,
silly.
okay, it's not going to stop playing. So obviously, like the thing about every single weapon pack is like about 2 weeks after it comes out, people stop using the special weapons. I think the main exception is like the minigun or the RPG. If you're going to be
Minigun and the RPG are probably the
Why-
only two really extensively viable special weapons.
I
The
haven't seen those being
flamethrower
used a
was
lot.
Odd.
I see the flamethrower once in a blue moon.
I use it as a joke, and then just like
Yeah.
cringe at myself because I hate that pack.
I'm making a build for it. It's gonna happen. We're gonna do the
But-
Pyromaniac build. It's gonna be really bad, but like
TF2 Pyro.
Yeah.
it's
my
basically gonna
last
be like the
thoughts-
minigun one. But
Anyway,
Yeah.
do you want to move on to Meltdown?
Oh, actually, no, we
I
missed
just want to give my
something.
last thoughts on the Western pack quick. The only thing, the big problem I have with it is, we've been talking about the dynamite for way too long, or whatever it's called, TNT. It makes the game a little bit more, pay to win each update. Because I mean, what's the dynamite really? Just a better frag grenade. And if the game isn't pay to win already, obviously it's not PvP, but obviously someone with all the DLC is going to have, say, the A12 shotgun and just the Molotov cocktails. They're undoubtedly going to have a better loadout.
Yeah,
So-
undeniably.
I
I
agree.
mean, most of my loadouts, I will use DLC weapons in them. Like,
especially like there's DLC mods.
I almost think this is accidental. It's not like Overkill is trying to, have a skill creep in the game. It's just kind of happening, Oh, this actually ends up replacing that because
Buy
they
our
have to do
DLC so you
something.
can do good.
yeah,
I know why the reason is. It's because with stuff like Team Fortress and Counter Strike, there's the meta, but it changes. Like to get the game fresh, especially with Dota, they
Payday
would
has
change
no.
the stats. But with Payday, the way they try to do this is by mod pack DLCs. They've done this once, which is done right, which is the second Butcher mod pack, with the AUG getting the big stock upgrade.
Yeah.
That one attachment made that
So,
that weapon
there
so
needs
good.
there needs to be more upgrades for the worst weapons, and then we need to see more enemies and make if
Yeah.
there is going to be a power creep, everything has to creep.
I would be interested in seeing Overkill say, okay, now these weapons are generally considered like part of the meta.
Yeah.
Let's fuck with everyone.
But
Let's make the Amcar the most viable weapon in the game.
That's
Well, now
okay.
shit's
This is
like
what one of the
paintballs.
DLCs that actually made me mad. Well, not mad, but was the AK car mod pack. Like you're giving modifications as that was a paid DLC, was it, or was
Yeah.
it free?
paid.
Paid. Paid. Okay, so paid to make some of the best weapons in the game even better.
Yeah,
And
like, it was supposed to be
guns like the
balancing
Amcar and the Commando and well, the Commando's pretty good, but all these other weapons, it's just like, why are you making the best guns in the game even better? Just add some variety, man.
They made the AKs better.
AKs,
I've never
I think
seen
AKs were
someone
really
use
some
an AK
pretty good.
beforehand. I used
I
to
like
use
the
it every now and
AKs.
again,
They were
but
fine. You know,
I think my main issue is it literally like it was introduced saying this is going to balance the weapons. It's going to make some of the less viable weapons more viable. Which granted it worked with the AKs, but then you've got guns like the Amcar, like I said, which is one of the more viable weapons in Payday the Heist. Actually,
I love that gun in Payday the Heist. That was like my favourite weapon. But yeah, I think they need to like start mixing up the meta, like all the stats, but they can't do it through paid DLC.
No.
Because then we've still got the Car 4 with the base game.
like they've shown they can do it. It's like when Bonnie came out and they introduced the Jocelyn, everyone was saying like, "Oh, this is Moscone 2.0,"
Yeah.
and then they just buffed the Moscone.
Moscone. But it was clear they're like, wait, Moscone's really underpowered right now.
Yeah.
What have we done?
But before we change on to the next subject, there's something we've just completely, like, our heads have just flown over.
Yes.
Which is, I think it's just not really a big thing in the game, but it's the melee weapons. The new melee weapons in this pack,
Suck.
terrible.
Oh my God.
Whereas in
You
the
won't use
barbecue
them.
in the barbecue pack, I think those are probably some of the better melee
They were
weapons
really
we have.
good for dodge
Not
builds.
just the
There's
better,
just-
like they're just leagues and bounds above the rest.
Yeah.
And I don't understand it. It's like they don't know. Like
It's
two of the weapons in the barbecue pack potentially are the best melee weapons. You know, you got other good options like the trench knife, but
Then you've got like the poker or whatever it's called, which is a really nice weapon.
they really strong. And then
Yeah.
like the most viable one is the Arkansas knife thingy. I can't even remember. Like
It looks nothing like it did on the website either. It looks totally like on the website. It looked just like a completely vanilla plain combat knife. In the game, it looks even cooler in the game. And
Unless it's the Tomahawk, because that
the
doesn't
tomahawk,
anything-
the tomahawk
nothing
looks
like it.
so cool on the website. It had like rabbit tails and like feathers attached to it and shit. And in the game, it was
in
it
their
was-
defense, if you clicked on them, it did actually show you
Yeah.
the in-game model, and you could see that. Oh wait, this is
Yeah. So it's like I looked at the
Yeah,
drawings
I
like
didn't notice
this looks cool because I noticed recently you could click on them and I was like,
Oh,
it looks
never mind.
shit.
I think that's a shame. I think
Okay,
they missed a trick, and
I'm going to bring up something which I don't know. This could be controversial about melee weapons, but this idea came to you while it was on the Payday 2 subreddit. Believe it or not, someone was messing around with modding. Basically, what they did is they made it a melee weapon which would ignite enemies, and I was thinking a torch melee weapon would be the best thing ever.
Please let
that
melee
would be
weapons do
great.
more things. Like,
That's
please
what
let
I
them be
was-
more diverse. Everything else is more diverse. Why have we not got a proper melee pack yet?
Yeah.
I was saying before we started this, while you were coming back, about like if they should really take some notes from Killing Floor with its Berserker, because like the Berserker class focuses on melee, and the melee could be really good. I mean, yes, I use a shovel because it's just a shovel.
Shovel, shovel.
Imagine like,
shovel.
having perks or skills which worked to make the weapons better, like the sledgehammer, to actually equip it as a secondary and just bash your way through things instead of just clicking like E.
You
or
mean
holding
kind of
it
like
down.
how I play Left 4 Dead?
Yeah. Like take an idea from Left 4 Dead or Killing Floor and just make it
300
replace
melee
your
kills.
secondary with
Like,
a melee.
Make things a little more statistical. Add more, potentially even attachments to melee weapons. Just make them.
Ooh.
You can have the baseball bat. Oh, but you can also wrap cloth around it and set it on fire.
Yeah.
Like
Or wrap barbed wire. I think there is.
there's already one of them.
There is one. Yeah, I
Yeah,
forgot.
that's already a weapon, but we don't talk
But
about
you
it because
know-
that was the worst.
Oh yeah.
So bad.
Anyway, let's move on. Let's pretend that there's no barbed wire baseball bat.
Yeah.
okay. All right. Before we move on past the barbecue pack, I gotta ask you guys all one question.
Okay.
What's next?
What weapon? What do you mean in the podcast or on the,
No,
within
no,
Payday's
it's
weapon
Payday-
pack?
Payday 2 weapon DLCs. Okay, we've been modern, we've been the historical pack, we've been to the western. What's next?
Future.
What's
Okay.
next
Future.
always bothers me.
I'm going to
Because
say. I'm going
That's
to.
just Walking Dead.
I'm going to say SMG pack.
I want them to make an SMG. pack.
I've been wanting that for so long. It's just I think I've come to realize it's just it's It's a fantasy.
Okay,
They
an
do keep
They
SMG.
don't like
SMGs that
SMGs.
as in, like,
Guys, I'm
Hotline
not done. I'm not done. An SMG pack which adds akimbo SMGs.
Akimbo.
Oh man.
The Akimbo pack. We've solved it.
Yes, okay.
I honestly think an akimbo pack would be amazing. I mean, please add akimbo revolvers for fuck's sake. But akimbo really needs fixing because it is just terrible at the moment. You're basically the akimbo perk or skill. From what I've done in comparison, if you get a cross kill and then get dual cross kills, with the dual you're firing 2, and if you're having
That's
one cross kill,
accurate.
the damage is identical. There's no damage increase with akimbos. It's just like using the same weapon, but you're using it as a primary.
It's not for every Akimbo. I thought the Benettis must be good.
No.
Right? 'Cause
Yeah.
they feel good.
They feel good because they're just you can rapid fire, but it's the same as just having one Benetti and just like spamming your mouse button.
See, this is
It
what
should
I'd
be
like.
separate firing, not
Yeah,
click once and then both.
If they took like a leaf out of
Killing floor.
Left 4 Dead, I'm gonna say Left 4 Dead 2. I love the akimbos in that just because of how they feel, you know? Like, obviously, I don't like how slow they fire in comparison, but if they did it like how they did it in Left 4 Dead,
Yeah.
that would be a lot nicer.
I'm just waiting for the future pack with a laser gun. They're
We're going
it ha-
Call of Duty Advanced Payday Fair.
I think
they're gonna do it. They have to do it.
I think the best thing is there is actually a line said by the cops in Payday 2, which is like goddamn sci-fi guns when they encounter a turret.
Okay, I imagine the trailer having Dallas or Houston or something coming back in like a time machine with, with Doc from Back to the, because we already have the DeLorean, and with like
Change!
Doc from
We've
Back to
gotta
the
go back!
Future.
With like
Yeah.
it's like a cow mangler from TF.
Dallas comes out of the car with just his hair all crazy, and just has some fucking crazy weapons. It's good. They have to do it, man.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be great.
You know what
Okay.
is sucky though? I know this is going off subject a little bit.
Yeah,
but
we're about 40 minutes
you
in,
know,
by the way.
holy shit. Do you know the April Fool's pack? I would have.
I wish that was in the game.
I would have paid for that. Like I tweeted a
Not the price they
developer.
put up there, sure, but
I tweeted a developer
No, I
when they
probably
announced
even
it.
would have paid for like the Pokemans.
Having a square Pokeball and just like capturing a bulldozer in one heist, like from jewelry store, take him back, go to Hoxton's, break out Death Wish at the start, and just throw a fucking dozer out would be
It'd be like another way to
greatest
use
thing.
Joker.
Yeah.
It'd be
I
undersized
actually
pile.
you know what I do? I just catch cloakers and have them like roundhouse kick all the guards.
Now
Imagine a closer.
I think we need to like start changing
let's
subject. We're
press
just
on.
about 40
No,
minutes.
because we kept on saying like, oh, one more thing about this. It's like,
Okay,
no.
this one should
Okay.
be. This will be a quick one.
Newest, yeah, these kind of go hand in hand. Update, Meltdown, nuclear weapon heist, and the new XP system.
All right.
Meltdown came out pretty buggy, but other than that, it was quite a nice little addition.
Yes. Okay. Is that all you got to say about it?
we
Is that
done here. We move on.
I
Alright,
actually think. Listen, I just watched a review today by I think he's called James Black. If anybody knows him.
Nope.
But each update he does like a review on it, and he was a bit late with Hype Train, but he said something which I actually thought maybe this is right. The reason why they chose Shadow Raid is because it is the perfect playground for messing around with what you can make drivable, because you've got the forklifts and then you've got the extended bit at the end of the map to drive the
Okay.
car in.
Question, Ben,
Yes.
or a question for everyone.
Yeah.
You're not special.
Oh.
So, do you guys think they redid Shadow Raid to make it be like, you know, the community would really like it? We can do Shadow Raid loud now. Do you think they did that for the conveniency of them not having to make a new heist specifically towards a interesting drivable escape, or do you think they actually did it just because they thought people would really enjoy it?
I think it's
I
been
think
people
it's
really
both.
enjoy it.
I think it's both.
Honestly, like I think my first instinct was like, oh my god, I've just ziplined into murky water, and I'm not stealthing. I'm shooting the shit out of all these murky
Felt
water.
really weird.
Well, I've
Yeah.
already done that with ECM rushing hundreds of times. So
I like kind of
Doesn't feel
clenched
that
when I
special.
shot my first cop. I was like, wait, that's not what I do here.
I just realised something. You know the whole point of Shadow Raid is because the murky waters are too tough for us.
Like,
That's what they say. Bane's like, if you fuck this up, I've got to pull you out because you're not going to handle it. Okay, we'll just send you and steal some nukes.
No.
Same
I think the reason in Shadow Raid that it says you're not going to handle it is because they probably do have a lot of cops just constantly monitoring that area at the time. And like that's the thing. The second you zipline in that heist, the alarm goes off straight away. The security is tight. That's the idea.
Yeah, I talked about that. I think that's so good. I think there are so many people there from the first second to the first wave, and that is so good. I think that really keeps the heist exciting, as opposed to it having lulls in combat. And when there are lulls, you've got to make good use of them. Yeah,
I mean, that's the thing. When we were doing it on Death Wish, I was amazed at how far into the heist we were, and we were still seeing murky waters. I don't know if they just carry on spoiling the assault waves, but there were a lot.
I thought you get bogged down in this heist. You get stuck back in a container, you are going to be stuck in there for a long time.
Yeah.
One thing that doesn't make sense to me is I really feel like they did this just for convenience, because it doesn't make sense why we would go back to Shadow Raid. Yeah, it is cool to do it on loud, and it's a difficult heist, but okay. We've already been there, and the first time we went, we were unable to go loud. I'm talking a little bit more realistic here. If Payday was realistic. Okay, so we go in there. It's too hard. The enemies are too tough. Too much security to go loud, and we rob it. And I'm pretty sure the first rule of crime is to never return to the crime scene.
That's true.
So now that we steal the samurai armor, steal all the loot, security is granted going to be a lot. You know, there's going to be a lot more security. Yeah, so we get sent back there to steal nuclear bombs.
It was thematically awkward, wasn't it?
The first thing you've got to remember is that one, we never got to know. They probably did not figure out it was us during Shadow Raid. We did.
Well, they knew they got robbed, so they were like, "All right, let's tighten up security."
The vault was still open.
Yeah.
We probably just went back the next day.
Yeah, we caught them on moving day, for God's sake.
No one think it was a bit awkward when Bane was like, you walk in there and he's like, "Oh yeah, do you guys remember when we stole that samurai?"
I thought that was pretty nifty.
No, because like, yeah, of course I do, Bane. Like, it was a pretty big heist we did a couple months back.
Why would you send us back?
And like, I think one of the big things is when we are doing Shadow Raid, we're doing it for Gage, and the thing is, he probably doesn't want to be traced. You know, because he's probably one of the most sought after people in the criminal underworld.
Well, he's dead now, isn't he?
No, I won't believe it.
That's what Almir is implied. It's not confirmed.
Yeah, they're just like sort of.
If he's still alive, I want a Gage versus fucking Butcher pack.
And like just like robotic legs.
Yeah, not even a pack, like a update. Like every day, Gage will release a weapon, then the Butcher will release a weapon, and like at the end of it.
They're like vying for your affections.
At the end of it, like they ask the community, whose weapons did you enjoy more?
That would be cool, because they did
that. I just thought of a great idea.
They did that with like TF2. Like
say Bane is, or not Bane, Gage. Say Gage is dead, and he, you know, I could imagine this trailer. I would want it to be a free update, because obviously Gage is one of, like, obviously a mascot of the series. He's a big character. So, you know, say he is dead. Maybe he died of like a heart attack eating a cheeseburger or something.
What a way.
He's dead. So it's like the trailer's like
a cheeseburger.
The trailer's like us at like his funeral, like the Payday crew at his funeral, wearing like sunglasses or something, still keeping our identity. And obviously it's all like underground black market. So he has like his black market lawyer, and his will leaves the Payday crew his armory. So like we're at like his funeral, and then like we go and like we just open doors to like a warehouse, and it's just so many weapons, and it's a free update, and it adds like tons of new weapons to the game. I think that would be cool.
You know what? It just occurred to me when you said armory. I could really go for some new armor types.
It would be.
That'd be awesome if Gage left us his will and we got all of his stuff, and we just got it, and that'd be a good way to make armor better, because armor is just useless in Payday's current state.
Even if it was just reskins, I'd love to like run around like the samurai armor we stole for a show in Shadow Raid.
I'm just thinking now of the DLC just called the Gage Memorial Pack. And one of the melee weapons is a fucking cane. Like a walking stick you'd beat someone with. And it just had like Gage engraved
literally
on it.
Can't stand though. I don't know what he'd do with that.
No, one of the melee weapons is just a wheelchair.
No, that'd be the new throwable.
You throwable. Explodes on impact.
That'd be one of the weapons.
That would be the new vehicle.
That would be a cool Easter egg if on the heist there was like a wheelchair somewhere and you could get in it.
You know what I'd really like? if Gage is dead, I would like a heist where you avenge him. Like, it turns out that it was like GenSec raided him or something, and they took him out, and they
totally waiting for something like that.
Yeah, and they took him out and like say they confiscated all of his armory. So you break into GenSec and you steal like a weapon bonanza. That would be amazing.
I still think he had a heart attack. I don't think he was a very healthy man. He was smoking cigars all the time.
Assassination by Cheeseburger, officially how Gage died.
But overkill. If you're listening and Gage is dead, Gage Memorial Pack.
Please bring back his actor as someone else, because his actor is the best actor in the
Gage's son.
Okay, I'm going to question this quickly. Canonically, I know Payday 2 canon has never been like really consistent. How come we're still getting Gage choreo packages and new heists?
That is a good question.
Choreo packages are really peculiar.
They're just part of the game.
What are they about? Like, they got to be in the game. I like the idea initially. Probably, what's the name of the mod? I can't think of it. The one that allows you to trade in a full Gage package, a full set of
Goon mod.
Yeah,
I love that. Why
is that not in the game?
Exactly.
That's what I said. Certain.
Like, I'm not going to use Goon mod like for the Gage tokens or whatever they're called, because I feel like that's a bit cheaty.
Mutators.
But if that was in the game, like
mutators are fun.
Like tokens. If like tokens were in the game, I would genuinely use them, because I prefer them far over like an RNG system.
That mod just isn't as well done as something like Hawkside. It's buggy. It does affect your frames per second, and it's just I had to uninstall because it would crash my game. But they have a lot of good ideas with
my
it.
Game on Meltdown.
I'm just to the point. I don't use mods.
But no, like backtracking a bit towards Meltdown. Just thinking, like back to what you were asking. Like, I do think they did like a kind of a cheat way, because we've always wanted Shadow Raid loud.
But I feel like they could have built a heist from the ground up to make the escape like really good.
Yeah, but like I said, I think the reason they chose that map was
because it cost us money.
It was a really good map for a playground just to mess around with the driving mechanic during loud.
That is true. No, it didn't cost any money, so we shouldn't complain.
I'm gonna point
I forgot it was free.
I always think that it was designed to be a actual loud heist in the first place.
It does seem it.
Yeah.
Some parts of it feel very limited.
I wish more of the action took place more than outside. I don't like being stuck in the same areas that we know. I want to go to new places in the map.
Yeah, it's a shame that the part where you drive is actually quite short.
Yeah, I do want to point out something about the driving though, which is this is something very interesting. I did not expect them to add to Payday. Payday's driving mechanics. Every single car, every single different type of vehicle has different like handling.
No,
like
really?
With the forklifts, that's understandable.
Forklifts have too much give to them.
Yeah,
like
the forklifts are different.
Like the forklifts are understandable, but the Longfellow
very wavy.
It has different handling to the cars in car shop. Yeah.
Do you know, part of me thinks that maybe the Longfellow's just been made a bit better than the sports, because I always feel like the Longfellow feels a little weightier, closer to the ground, whereas the sports cars are like.
This is the thing though, a sports car. If you ever have driven a sports car in real life,
it's a muscle car.
It is going to be floaty. It's going to float around.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
And
in real life, it won't float around.
That's the thing. I honestly find driving the Longfellow far better than driving the sports car.
Which is how it should be, I suppose. I wondered at the time whether maybe Overkill were just improving their technologies for this.
But
it might just be that they've got it right.
Yeah.
I did not like driving at first. It just, even still on the forklifts and things, it just feels like you're on ice.
I like the forklifts. I think the forklifts have done quite well. I do think the animations when you crash into people are just a little bit silly.
Yeah, they just fall over.
Oh, I actually have one complaint with the forklift.
Yeah?
When you're on the back, when you sit on the back, your FOV shrinks it's horrible.
I feel like, okay, it's cool.
I think that's on purpose.
It's cool that sitting on the back of the forklift is a thing. It's not viable at all.
You can't. If you could carry a bag, but when you're back there, that would be cool. But you can't. You can't even have a bag on your back.
You can run faster than the forklift, even if you're in heavy armor.
And you can use the forklift as cover.
And you can like do like 360s and everything. If you're covering a forklift, you're much better off just running alongside it.
By sitting
The way
on the
they
back,
should have
you are
balanced-
literally making yourself the sniper target. You
Yeah.
know, you're just doing your team a service.
The way they should have balanced it was you can get on there with a bag just to make you move faster
Yes.
with a bag.
I
That would have
think
been
so.
perfect.
Yeah, well,
But-
I guess the issue then is you'd only actually need 2 forklifts to secure all 8 bags.
Whatever.
Something which was nice about the forklift is you could pick up the bags via the front of it. But you can place them on, but you can actually drive into it as well, and it would pick up 3 bags. However,
That's a good feature about the forklift, not a good
works-
feature about the fucking car.
yeah, it works on the Longfellow. When I was streaming with Bao yesterday,
That's all.
we just took all the bags off, and then
I
he
drove
drove
off.
over one, and he put it back in the boot.
Sucked it in.
And I was just standing there
Jesus,
thinking,
death wish.
one of them is missing.
That's got to be an
And
accident.
like the thing is, I didn't realize that I picked up. It's like, did you throw all of them out? I was like, yeah. It's like, well, no, it says the Longfellow's still got. And I said, oh, it must be just desync or something.
And
Because
people
I
in the
don't-
chat were saying, no, you've just picked it back up.
Yeah, like you run over it. And I'm thinking, why? That makes sense with a forklift because a forklift is designed like you run over something and you pick it up.
Yeah.
Like, but a car, it's like when I learn how to drive, I think the first thing I'm going to do is open my boot, put like a carton of eggs in the middle of the road, and just drive.
Suck them in.
Sit there,
I think overall the heist is quite well done.
yeah.
It was a surprise, wasn't it? Like I didn't know it was.
Now, there's a thing. Obviously, Ben, you've done your top 5 loud heists.
I'm going to be redoing it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've always put off doing it because I knew there's going to be a heist which I'm going to love above everything else, and
I've
I'm going to
always
regret not waiting. And
Is
this,
this it, Bell? Is this the heist you love?
I would honestly say, right now, this is probably my favorite heist in the game.
Wow.
It's just this is something I've been debating whether to talk about in like either a podcast. I'll bring it up quickly now. I don't want to go into it too much because we're dragging on quite a lot, which is surprising. But I've noticed, I'm not sure if you guys have, but when it's a loud only or a stealth only heist,
It's
they
so much
work
better.
so well. Like Hoxton's Revenge is just perfect for stealth. I only just started getting into stealth again after like I think I used to stealth back when the game was first
came
out.
When the game
Yeah.
came out, stealth was all I did. I built into Ghost. It was just the cool thing to do.
And then they messed it up a bit, and then desync happened, and everybody online was just a nightmare.
What are all the DLCs? Oh yeah, they're weapons. What do we use the weapons for? Like the loud highs. So like
We got
that's
the
why
budget
loud.
suppressor.
Oh god, the
there
budget
is that.
suppressor is so. They said
And
that
this
was
is
meant
low.
to be free, and you have to pay for it to like equip
No,
it.
they patched it, didn't it?
No,
Did they?
you just have to buy it in game. When they
Oh.
said, it's a free attachment to put on, it's like, no.
Well, new XP system.
Yeah. I've been putting off.
I
Infinite
like
Stuff.
it.
I can't talk about it. I'm still 100. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah,
It's
I like
progressive way of doing things.
I
but
like the
don't know how it
concept.
works in practice.
The thing is,
Well,
I've
so-
still got a build video to do. When I do, I'll infamy to the infamy 6,
That's
and I'll try.
that's my position as well. actually.
I'm just going to shake my head completely because I still level up, but this is my problem. It is so easy to grind on any heist. I just play a heist normally. I just run through it. Like I said to Kknowley earlier, about me and Julian just like got into the beta, and it has changed a little bit now. They nerfed it a wee bit, but I played one game for about half an hour of White Xmas, and I went from 0 to 50. And that was a few infamies ago. If I do it
Yeah.
now,
You'd probably be 70.
I'd probably get to 50 or get higher.
Doesn't the level cap
Rats used to
apply
do that once upon a time.
anymore? Have they removed the level cap? Because I think when you're level 0, you can only go up to like level 35 in like one shot.
This is the worst
I'm not
thing
sure.
about
This
it.
is when we were in the beta.
No, this is the worst thing about it. The level cap exists, but the infamy boost takes over and it just does nothing. I got a level cap of like, I think 100,000 in one of the heists.
Wow.
But I
So-
still got about 4 million XP.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So what's
For
the
everyone-
point? Payday wanted to try to avoid grinding. They always said that they didn't want people to grind. This new system's making it worse.
Like,
No,
okay,
no.
I think the most amusing thing about the XP update is that Do you remember back in the day when it used to be like Hector's heists were like those were heists you grind on? Then it turned into the dentist heists.
Now it's Vlad.
Now it's Vlad. Of all the people who you could grind heists on, it's Vlad.
I think Vlad's leading up to something because I was talking to someone in the comments of one of my videos, and I was saying about like it's a bit weird how the buyer of the nukes is still unknown, and someone said, "Why isn't it just the butcher?"
That was me.
No, there was actually other people who said it as well. But if it was the butcher, wouldn't it be a butcher heist? Someone went through Vlad to get to us to steal the nukes. So there's another contractor out there who wants to work with Crime.net, but he's probably going to do it through Vlad. Hence why Vlad has slowly been building up from stealing a tiara, literally breaking everything in a mall, which is still funny.
And literally
Four-store.
shoplifting.
Yeah, shoplifting.
Shoplifting.
We've gone to then like picking up his meth from a crashed plane to stealing nuclear warheads.
It was cocaine, by the way.
It was not.
I always think
I
that
always
Vlad's
think
heists are always kind of a little bit jokey, a little bit tongue-in-cheek. And part of me thinks the nuke idea is just like, hey, we can make radiation jokes. But I'd like to imagine, and
All for the
especially with
puns.
Vlad now getting this new heist, we build on Vlad, his backstory and everything. Because he's interesting, he's funny, and people like him.
Yeah, what people want is to be able to play Payday and level up, fairly fast and not have to grind a certain heist. Like you said, Bale. Before it was Hector, then it was the dentist, and now it's Vlad. I feel like they're really having trouble trying to figure out a way to make most of the heists in the game a good way to get XP.
That's what they want to do. They want to make
so you can
viable.
play. Yeah,
do
so you can
other
play
heists.
whatever you want and still get good XP. But what it's turned into is just, what contract do we want people to play this update?
Do you think this is Overkill's fault, or do you think this is the fault of the player base? Because we're consistently trying to break Overkill's new ideas.
It's both.
Well, they're just giving us a better way to get XP, but
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
falling into some of the same missions.
They want to
all the time.
incentivize people doing missions fully, not rushing through them, enjoying everything the mission
Yeah.
has to offer. But they also want to incentivize people to do different missions and spice things up, which they've, to an extent done in this update. But then they've also just left it open for the missions where you can do the objective over and over and over again.
Yeah, to get like
beautiful.
100 million XP. Just
They're doing
This
a good
is
job,
the way to
though,
go.
'cause-
This is the one. There's one thing I don't like about this update, which is a very specific thing. I hate doing meth on
I hate it too.
on what's it called?
Hotline Mammy.
Shit'll kill
Hotline
you.
Mammy. I hate doing meth on Hotline Mammy. I don't know. Like, if that meth lab was just removed from the game, I would not complain.
What's wrong with it?
It'd be nice if it was downstairs in the basement.
I don't know. I just don't like doing it on Hotline Mammy.
Do you know what I associate that meth lab with? That one guy in the team that goes off and gets himself killed trying to cook.
Oh,
When
God.
it's not okay.
I think that might be why I hate it, actually. Because there'll always be one guy who just starts cooking, like, not playing.
Oh, I saved
no.
it to the end.
Oh,
At
no,
the
no,
start
no.
of the game, they go, cook? With a question mark.
Oh no! Sorry. This is like my typical game of Hotline Mammy pub game. So all three of them will go find meth lab. I will then pretty much do the entire heist on my own.
Yeah.
I'll go down at some point because obviously I'm doing a 4-man job of my own. I'll go.
Why are you going down, dude? We're
custody.
too busy cooking.
Yeah, and they'll just like sit there cooking meth. It's like, guys, you know the barcode reader jammed, right?
Yeah, I have a rule for... I like cooking because I just find it fun. I like the first map of Hotline Mammy, so I like to stay around on it. So I always say to them, because I like hosting more now because I don't want to get kicked for a stupid
Yeah,
reason.
Yeah,
I say to
heard
them,
that.
the rule is, we do the objective, we get all the ingredients, then we go cook. Because then it's equal, it's an easy way to do it, and no one gets downed.
I always
And
think
that
if you're
way
playing
you
in pubs,
can-
that's the way they wanted it to be done. If you're playing in a team, split resources, you're communicating. But if you're just playing pubs, that's the way you gotta do it. But for
Yeah.
a heist like Hotline Miami, which is all about cooperation, because they chuck you in, they make it hard to solo it because you got to run backwards and forwards to get the gasoline, and then you gotta move across the map in different places. It's about cooperating and working together, and that's what they've been trying to push a lot lately. And so when the one guy goes off and cooks his meth, that's really counterintuitive to it.
Yeah.
But they're doing a good job keeping because obviously people are gonna play what gives the best XP no matter what. But it's not like Hoxton Breakout's terrible now. Like, yeah, Hoxton Breakout's still giving just as much XP as it was. So was Rats, 12 months ago when people were playing that. But now I guess Way Xmas is just the best. But everything's still just as good as it was.
Actually, Cook-Off is the best heist to grind on.
It is. But you know what I really hate about Cook-Off and Rats compared to Hotline Miami?
What?
That fucking bug is still there from the launch where you hear the wrong ingredient.
Yeah.
It's not a gameplay element, it's just a bug.
People have been discussing, like, it's a bait. But it is a bug, isn't it?
Yeah. There's a fix for it. There's been a fix for about, half a year now. It's on last bullet, so I remember seeing it. It's just a fix for it. But no one knows about it.
I've used it, but it's not something you can really feature on a Mod of the Week show, is it? Well, here's this fix to a problem in the game.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's entertaining. Like,
here's how to fix Payday. Just get this. Also, people have been saying to me for a while now, why don't you do a video on, the lower shadow mod? It's because that's just me bitching about the game, because it's something that needs to be a setting in the game.
That's just for people if they want better FPS, that's not really a...
But it is a massive issue. The shadows in Payday are ridiculously high.
I keep on meaning to install that mod.
The shadow mapping, I used to have a 650, and I used to get horrible frame drops on any heist, so I installed it. And the notice, shadow-wise, is nothing. The shadows are too high in Payday for no reason. They've just done the game so weirdly, but I don't want to promote this kind of stuff, because then it's just saying, hey, you know what game I like doing so much about? It's
Here's
broken.
how to fix it.
Here's how to fix the game.
Yeah, I think there's always a lot to be positive about as well.
I guess
sometimes the jankiness is what makes it so charming, but
one of my friends loves Payday because he can bitch about it. That's his main thing. He loves the game because he can complain about these little things.
We've been playing Payday 2 on Diesel for so long. I really feel like if we were playing on Unreal or Source or something, it just wouldn't have the same charm,
I'm just gonna say, I hope don't port it to Source. That's the worst thing you probably do at this point.
Needs to go to Unreal.
Unreal, yeah.
I like Source Engine.
Yeah, sure. Wait for Source 2 at least. Come on.
I think it'll stay on Diesel.
I was saying to Kknowley and Julian before you came here, it's going to Mac and Linux. They've confirmed this, but Diesel can't work on Mac or Linux. It just can't. The engine does not it's not compatible at all.
I don't think we'll ever see the day where we get a full engine change unless they had Payday 3.
It would take longer, but it is the best solution for them to try and see if they can move it over.
And the thing is, if they did port it over to engine change, which is compatible with Windows, Mac, and Linux, it's going to save them a lot of effort during updates and DLC. They're not going to have to code the same thing twice.
Because a good example, do you know Borderlands 2?
Yes.
Originally it was Windows, but then they moved it over. And the problem was, because of the way the engine was designed at the time, it wasn't working Mac properly. But they kept it, and it took, I think, it was released on Mac, but it took so long for it to get up to date with Windows, that at a point Windows updates stopped so they could catch up.
Wow.
That's what's going to happen with Payday if it goes on to Mac or Linux.
Yeah.
Anyway, so should we move on to the skill tree thing?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, now I don't know anything about it, so you're going to have to give me a brief introduction.
All right. What me and Ben have been talking about, Kknowley mentioned it too. It would be nice to have a new skill tree. I think you talked about a melee one, maybe?
Yeah,
Kknowley?
I came up with a fully fledged 100% melee skill tree with all the stats and everything. And I don't know how feasible it would have actually been in the game, but I sent it to Overkill a while ago, and the video's on my channel.
I would love to see that.
But
I would love to see a photoshopped version of your Payday 2 skill tree.
No, because I even went on and I got the text and stuff that they've been using for the actual in-game skill tree.
You know what?
Ages, way longer than it should have to make.
We found out
your
what
own
that text
custom
was
images.
yesterday. Isn't it a 30 quid? You have to pay 30 quid for that font.
I have the
I think I
font
used
that
one on the font, but
it's called Palamore or something, I think.
I don't know. We discovered what it was yesterday. I
you
can't
didn't have
remember.
to pay 30 quid for it. It might not have been quite the same one. But this was a melee skill tree, which actually has some ideas which were eventually incorporated into the Infiltrator perk deck, which was really good. It wasn't as feasible separately for melee as the build was, but I definitely think if this idea was to be fully taken on, not even mine, just a slightly different one, we could see a whole different playstyle become more viable. Because as of right now, there are weapons missing skills. Melee is drastically missing actual solid skills. It's just got you do more damage. Oh, you do more knockdown.
Oh,
I'd love to see
72
more.
L.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is interesting. This just come up during a stream. Maybe we should.
Okay.
I think that let's
So-
talk about this in another stream, actually.
So me,
Focus.
my idea for a new skill tree would be a demolition man or a specialist. So gives an opportunity to buff special weapons a little bit more. That would kind of be overpowered, but it would be nice to have a way to increase explosive damage, maybe take less damage from explosives. Do we even get hit by explosives in this game?
Yes, the C4 actually hurts you now.
C4, yeah. Well, just something like that,
It's a
but
skill tree that adds devolution. You can shoot walls and they
And,
yeah, just
fall over.
maybe like
easy,
a-
just quick
like a
engine
chain
change.
feature.
Right?
and if
Turn
my
it to
theory-
dice.
And if my theory is correct, which I really hope it is, and if it's not correct, overkill, for fuck's sake. I really want like a grenadier special enemy for the Gensec enemy that he's still not given us.
That is a good point. When the hell are we getting safe house customization? I don't care if it's
God,
going to
we
be
gotta say
shit.
We gotta save that
want
for
it.
another time. I have so much to say about that.
Imagine if it's just going to be like you can paint the walls a different color.
I don't care.
You guys
they
know there's
delivered.
going to be a top safe house of the day.
I would love to see that. I would love to see that.
They can totally just use the materials and stuff that are already in the game. We've already seen they can be placed on top of weapons, as was seen in Goon Mod.
Just
know,
replace
that-
the front door with like
Just
the rainbow patch.
chuck rainbow on the front.
Cribs, Payday 2
Easy
edition.
peasy.
But one gripe I have with this
cars.
new skill tree idea, obviously each skill tree has its own respective character. Old Hoxton, Houston, Chains, Wolf, and Dales.
Yeah.
What would we do for a new character? And also the skill points, how would we distribute it? Would we make all the skills cost a little less?
No, I don't think. Because I think the idea with the skill points is you're supposed to go into two main trees. I think that's very clearly what they intended with that.
There was always speculation that we were going to get more skill points when Hoxton was re-released.
See, this is the thing. I think I said if they buffed it so you got, I think, 145 skill points, what I said, you'd be able to basic and ace everything in a single skill tree, which would make more sense.
Yeah.
The full ghost. That'd be quite an amusing one.
But that's the thing. I don't think we'll ever see another skill tree because there isn't a character for it.
I think Bonnie would be good
Yeah.
for the specialist.
Yeah.
Because
I don't
don't-
think they'll want to do that.
They
'Cause
will
they've
not-
just
they will
wanted to
not
make these
add-
characters easy to make with perk decks. They'd need to be a totally new,
But the
a
problem is
promotion.
the
It's going to be Aliso, I'm telling you.
the problem is the perk decks we
DJ.
have a meta. We just have the meta perk decks. We've got Rogue.
There is no
we've got
meta
armor.
for perk decks. It's Rogue.
It's
If you ask
Rogue
me,
or
everything.
armor.
Rogue is just the only option. I mean, you can do armored builds, but they're honestly
so
just not
weak.
as good.
I
And this is bad.
Rogue and
I am a
Crook are-
fan. I love Bal can vouch for me. My favorite build is always going to be Tech Forcer.
Yeah.
I love having the biggest armor, an LMG, and a shotgun, and just ripping into
Once
everyone.
upon a time, though, this was the best option.
Back when it was tier bonuses, it was like you get all the health, all the
Yeah.
armor.
There were no skill
you were just
perk decks.
you were better than a tank. And-
See, I can't deny dodge is fun,
Oh, dodge
but
is
like
definitely
dodge
fun.
is the only option.
You're
I don't
getting
like
you're
that.
getting you're more viable than someone with armor, and you're moving twice as fast.
And,
I
like,
think
but
the second I
only
took my armor
downside
off, it
is
felt so weird.
the only downside I think really with dodges, you tend to have a bit of trouble with special enemies. Like, for example, I think shields are the big one, unless you're playing Fiji Forcer, which I'm
yeah.
playing a bit more
But you
recently.
can run around them because you're
Yeah.
so damn fast.
Yeah, the only way I feel like they balance the only balance there is to dodge is that you're limited. You're pretty limited on weapons, but you can also get really creative with it. You just have to keep that low concealment. But there's
And
tons
really,
of ways
like,
to get around that.
the thing is, like, when you do get hit, it is probably going to take a good chunk out of your health. I think.
Yeah,
is the other thing.
occasionally, a sniper hits you, you're dead.
But that's what
But,
first
like-
aids are for. You can just throw a first aid kit down.
Yeah.
That still happens though if you're if you're an armor.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't do it. It'll still break through the armor, and you'll still take health damage.
The problem
unless you run like muscle or something.
The problem is that is the problem. Back before like perk decks, you had the tier binds, and for Enforcer and Technician, it's basically muscle and armor put together, and that made it really good. And then when the perk decks came out, they split it into two.
Yeah.
And it ruined both of them. With muscle, you get more health, but you also get the like scaring the shit out of everyone, which doesn't work that
doesn't
often.
function.
It doesn't work properly. It's so weird. But then you got armor, which is the armor. The armor's great. Once you lose your armor, your health goes down. So you want muscle. But if you use muscle, your armor Your armor goes down too quickly, so your health gets depleted almost like just as fast.
So the sneaky
both.
bastard and rogue.
Rogue is the only way you can play if you want to play like professionally.
Rogue.
Professional Payday.
Oh, listen. There's gonna be like a 250 grand tournament. I'm going
God.
pro. I don't know what you guys are doing.
I'm sorry.
We had so much beef with that. Like I feel like 99% of the money towards the hype train event was to that prize pool.
Yeah.
And there's only gonna be a handful of people that have the time and money to fly down to fucking Los Angeles and compete and pay. Normal people that supported the hype train event and bought like the complete overkill pack. Like, yeah, we'll do that, but we can't fly. Like, for you guys, it's to a whole nother country.
Yeah.
It's why would you put so much money in that? It's really
exciting, right? It's a development. Payday Con. It's a convention for our favorite game. We love it. This can only be
if they fly us out. I'll go.
A good step. Well, only if they fly us out.
Yeah, let's just assume that we are like the big Payday
fly us
YouTubers
out
right now.
Yeah, like VIP access, whatever. But like,
yeah,
Payday YouTubers is a really, really small, secluded group.
I'd happily do like a panel with you guys. That'd be awesome.
I was just gonna say that'd be a dream come true. But
we're getting a little bit over our heads.
Yeah, we're
what
getting.
I was gonna say is
maybe Kknowley's in the goddamn game.
Yeah,
that's true.
But when it comes to Payday Con, as fucking amazing as it says, I'm honestly disgusted with Overkill, purely because that prize money, that convention, was paid by everybody, and America's not the biggest selling group of Payday. It's Russia.
Russia, yeah.
I mean, okay.
Russia.
I don't understand why everybody hates Russians and how Russia is like the big.
For like 30 pence.
But Russia's like the biggest group of players.
I think the reason why lots of people don't like Russians is because they usually have the most toxic player bases for competitive games. I know a lot of MOBAs, they're really toxic.
Oh my god, Dota's the worst. Like the other team's English and then my team would be Russian, and it's just like, yeah, I can't understand what you're saying. That's my only gripe. It's just I can't understand what they're saying because I don't know Russian.
Apparently, they just tend to be rude, which is why they've got a bad name. But no, we love the Russians. Whatever. I think Payday Con, it's a great idea.
If it was an online tournament.
I don't understand it though. How do we win a tournament?
I think it's gonna be who can stealth Big Bank the quickest and most efficiently.
Oh, but that's
there's some RNG in that though.
And there is RNG as well.
If there's one against one, someone is going to get screwed over.
Oh, it's teams. It's teams as far as I know.
Oh.
It's going to be teams, I think. No way they're going to just give the winner.
That's actually a point. Before we go on to the final topic, I've got one question for you now.
We're still not done with the skill tree topic, to be fair. We're still waiting on... we already got Julian's skill tree, and
I have 10 more
minutes.
We got to get going.
But I've got a question for you, Kknowley. How do you feel about most of the stuff in Payday is RNG?
I hate the word. I say it too frequently. I say, well, this is RNG. This is... Okay, so RNG is great for replayability.
I got down there. That's RNG.
People love roguelikes because they're random. You can get a great run, you can get a bad run. And so Payday has an element of that, and I think that is its only replayability, really. Other than maybe some weapon variety. So it's really important. But when you start chucking money at a competition, where RNG is such a big element in your game, that would be like
That is very
making League of Legends a roll the dice game. It's weird to me.
League of Legends Dungeons and Dragons edition. I used my ult. I rolled 5. Shit, it didn't work.
And I don't think we need to actually talk about my opinion on RNG because
You get pissed off when I say it.
Oh my god, it's like my 3 least favorite letters of the alphabet.
You can't deny though, RNG is good in some factors for replayability.
Okay. Like,
but there's other times when it's not needed.
It's like I like the element of if I play a big bank, the vault might not be in the same place, or stuff like that. The maps might be laid outside differently. That's really awesome. Adds a little bit of a twist. Lets me explore the map a bit more. But then it's kind of like, oh, this drill broke. Okay, let's just fix it. I'll walk away now. It'll go for another minute. Oh, I've been away from this drill for 5 seconds and it's broke again. Okay.
For the first time in my entire Payday career, I fixed a drill yesterday that had been turned off by the cops, and the second I fixed it, it broke. I've never experienced.
I've had that happen.
I turned away and it was broken again, and I have a feeling it was because it was set to break. It was set to broke, and a cop turned it off. I have a feeling that's what happened. I cried. I cried for 5 minutes.
It's happened worse to me. I've had it like 3 times in a row. I just fixed it and it was just great. I'm just like going, oh, fuck. Why did I not bring C4?
And you know what? The strange thing is, the one little bit of RNG which doesn't work is the automatically fix the drill skill, which I can't remember what it's called. That's the one bit of RNG I never see work.
You brought this up before, didn't you, in one of your videos, saying like the percentage system in skills doesn't work how you'd expect it to.
It doesn't at all. It doesn't even. It's not clear in how it works, and even then, it doesn't work even the way I think even Overkill thinks it works. The percentage system is so peculiar.
So
why have a stat that says increase your stability by 50% when it doesn't mean that? It doesn't mean that at all.
Let's not go on to flashbangs, Bell. That's just a complete different story.
It's all right. Okay, you can run Goon mod and you can see flashbangs.
Okay, very quickly.
All right, so
Ben, skill tree.
Oh, my idea of skill tree was the specialist, which basically evolves around the special ones like minigun, RPG.
Yeah.
Piglet. You'd have skills which focus on that. So, for example, the Piglet's reload speed is just fucking god awful. Have skills which focus on making the special weapons better, because if you look at it from a strategic point and a meta point, none of the special weapons are really useful besides the RPG. The minigun.
I think the minigun's amazing. I think the minigun with the right build is.
If you're an enforcer, minigun is just
crits.
The biggest.
No, it's crit. It's gotta be the crit dodge build on it. It's disgusting. It's my best build I've ever made.
I'll have to look at it, but stuff like what other specials are there again?
There's the RPG, the flamethrower.
The flamethrower had no perks or skills to go with it. You'd look at it and go, yeah, I could use this, but I could use the Car 4 or the shotgun.
I can't believe one of the selling points of the flamethrower.
Literally, all I want is a single skill. Increase special weapon reload speed by 50%. Just give me that and I'll be happy.
At least a specialist perk deck. I would be fine with that.
Or focus on the SMGs because they need a bit of love.
But then again, if you focus a perk deck on weapons, you'll have no viability whatsoever. So
okay, I'm just going to say I'm not going to talk about what my dream skill tree would be a lot, because I think I've talked about the bandit concept before. Like briefly, I'll just mention. Basically, it's the ability to sort of make the most out of carrying loot. So you have camo bags, which cops don't tend to notice. You'd be able to make hostages carry bags for you. And there'd be it'd basically be you're resourceful. You bring stuff
I love that idea, but it's so funny.
It's the idea of the skill tree would be you'd just be very resourceful. You'd have concepts which would work for both loud and stealth.
like MacGruber.
Yeah,
you can make your own bullets out of the random items you find.
And also, what was unique about the skill tree is that there isn't a deployable. Instead, you get a different type of grenade, which would be, I guess, either a smoke grenade or gas.
I'm surprised there's not an EMP grenade. If we see a futuristic pack some sort of EMP that works against
That would be cool.
the turrets.
Maybe like
and it also has some sort of additional offsetting effect. Turns cloakers insane, or
But like
ECM feedback and a little grenade that lasts for like 5 seconds or something. That'd be
but
cool.
like what I actually came up with recently, it's not really it is a skill tree related thing, but not really. I think, Ben, you know what I'm going to talk about. I came up with a concept for infamy bonus, which was basically you'd get.
Nice.
Yes. So the entire concept would be their skill links. You get to say tier 4 in Mastermind, and then you could link that onto either Fugitive or Enforcer, and then you could go from tier 4 Enforcer without owning any lower tier. And it'd be like 4 skill points.
I get that.
3.
That's
would definitely bring back like one of the things which I'm starting to struggle with is creativity to skill builds.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's
Because I've got like one skill build left on my mind, which is what's the name of that chef, Val?
Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah, the Gordon Ramsay build.
Ramsay.
And then after that, I can't think of one which would be viable, but also be fun.
I'm doing the pyromancer. That's all I know.
Yeah.
Pyromancer build, and
But
then
no,
I'm out of ideas as well.
I think the idea I brought up with is imagine how strong of like a sort of tank build you could do if you linked Enforcer to Technician. You could just get the top tier Technician skills and have a silent duel with no other upgrades.
I would do that just to piss everyone off.
See, if I start putting Stockholm Syndrome in any more of my builds, people are going to come out and find me and try and kill me. Not an option.
But no, that's one thing I'd like to see change about skill trees. I would like to see a new tree, but I think that would like really mix skill trees up a little bit. We'd get a lot of unique builds, and I think you'd also kind of you'd probably be able to get to the top of like 3 skill trees if you subbed a lot of lower skills, which would be interesting.
Yeah.
All right. So, last topic. Belle, you wanted to talk on?
Just give me 2 seconds.
Oh,
Okay.
just play intermission music here.
Sorry, I'm being called for 1 second.
It's gonna be
It's
TF2
related.
introducing a competitive aspect. We don't have much time left, so
Yeah,
Competitive matchmaking in TF2, isn't it? So
It's just
gonna be a
competitive,
competitive.
TF2.
It's like queuing ranked on something.
Yeah.
One of the things in TF2 that I was like, I'm pretty sure Bao again would vouch for me, but I was a damn good soldier. Black box contra her, I was just
rocket jumps.
I was just unstoppable. I would always like get to the top of the team within like a couple of minutes, but I got bored because I didn't. There's a thing called Highlander, which is like everybody plays one character, but I never really looked into it.
Apologies, I'm back. I was being called.
But with me, I just kind of stopped playing because there was nothing. It just got really boring.
There's competitive 6s and there's sort of vaguely competitive Highlander, but it's reasonably hard to actually get into these things because I know I tried. There are a couple of sort of third-party competitive matchmaking systems.
I'm going to say, if anyone here wants to get into competitive TF2, I think the site's called TF2 Lobby. Hang on.
Yeah, TF2 Lobby. I used to do that.
But the fact that they're implementing it properly, like as it would work in Counter-Strike or Dota, this should have happened long ago.
Is this worth anything now? The game is what? How many years old? It's old.
20, 25.
25.
Like, Team Fortress is probably on its last set of legs because of like is it Overwatch?
Overwatch is gonna be
That
awesome.
game is gonna just like wipe the floor because it's
unless
new.
it has a competitive revival. If the competitive scene is if matchmaking is good enough, but I will go back to playing it.
This is the thing.
I would probably go back if it was good.
I think the issue right now is they balance Team Fortress 2 around public games a lot.
They balance TF2.
Like that, this is the thing, which I will never understand quite how or why they do this. Team Fortress 2 is balanced around pubs.
Yeah.
They buff weapons
casual
based
game.
on pubs. Yeah. And this is the thing, if they did do a competitive thing, they had like dedicated servers where there were no random crits, no bullet spread, or whatever.
Base weapons, though. I mean, base weapons are usually the strongest, aren't they? If you think about it on the whole.
They're the most...
Scattergun?
situationally, they're normally like They
best
can be used
all
in
around.
situations. Yeah.
Generally, it's considered the rocket launcher, the scattergun, probably the regular flamethrower,
Yeah, flamethrower for sure.
gun.
I'm
But these are all usually considered the top weapon. Like, I love the degreaser, whatever. But I do think that on the whole, they've managed to balance the game in such a way where the base models are still probably the best.
I honestly think for competitive, as much as I love the black box, if you want it to work properly, you have to use vanilla. The vanilla is going to be the only way to keep it properly.
I mean, the black box is great for
Okay.
pubs.
This I'm Kknowley, you're someone who's played a bit of competitive, or you play in a competitive environment at least.
Yeah.
Like, so the thing is, in 6v6, I think the only character who's allowed to sub out items is the medic, and he can only really sub out his medigun.
Yeah. So
And I
in
think it's-
Highlander, everything went except for the enforcer for a while, which is a pistol for the sniper, because that was overpowered for a bit.
Spy.
Sorry for the spy.
When the sniper get a pistol, that's awesome.
Yeah. That was a poorly balanced weapon, and that was the only thing that was ever from
That is still poorly bad. In fact, I could probably bring up the list of banned weapons in Highlander right now.
But the only character that ever. This is for both ease of use and I just think because generally they're considered the best weapons. The medic is the only one who will sometimes go crits instead of regular medigun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's quite a simple meta.
What's actually interesting, and Ben, if you ever do competitive TF2, I think you're gonna hate this. There is for Scout, there is a certain cosmetic item which is banned.
No, don't say the jingle.
Yes.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
It's banned in
I love
competitive.
that item.
Pyro also has a jingle.
I think it's banned anyway.
I like the Pyro has a jingle, hasn't he? He's got the
You're
jingle
just
bell.
putting yourself at a disadvantage. Who cares?
Yeah.
I want a jingle, and I want a jingle loud. Just fuck
Yes.
everyone.
So I've got the list of banned weapons. So I'm not going to go through all of them because it's stupidly difficult to navigate this.
I haven't played the game in a while, so things might have changed.
They've added a few things.
I just play base weapons. I don't craft or anything.
I actually found after playing Payday, like the dodge build really helped me learn how to play Scout. I was fucking awful at Scout, but now I'm like, oh yeah, I just need to like crouch all the time and run around, and now I can just like be good.
Eat shot for days. Yeah, I come from sort of a first-person shooter background in my gaming past, so like that's where my TF2 influence came from, and then that's why TF2 sort of passed on more to Payday rather than the other.
Yeah.
I grew up with games. I've been there. I'm not going to say I've been there from the start. I've had the consoles. I've even had the computer, like the ZX Spectrum, and I've grown up with this stuff. So I've kind of adapted. I kind of know the limits. So like stuff like Call of Duty and everything never really gripped me as much as like modern gamers does.
I got lost in Call of Duty for a while. Those were some dark
Yeah.
days.
Zombies
Now,
is fun. The rest of it I couldn't give a shit about.
okay, now going back to the matchmaking really quickly, one thing which I am kind of hoping is a thing. Obviously, in competitive TF2, I watch a fair bit of competitive TF2, when I'm bored or whatever. There's a lot of custom maps. Like, for example, some of the more popular ones like Swiftwater, which is a payload map, and Viaduct Pro, which is the Viaduct map in the stock Viaduct map is actually unbalanced.
Yeah.
I think there's areas which you can get to on the blue side, which you can't get to on the red side or something.
Yeah, so it's easier to get to on one side.
Yeah. So there's a lot, and I hope a lot of these maps get implemented, at least exclusive to competitive servers. I would like to see Swiftwater on pub games because I honestly think Swiftwater is probably one of my favorite TF2 maps. But no, like the concept of if they're putting official implementation, official support for competitive in the game, we might see some of these maps which for a long time have been using competitive tier 2 actually make it into the stock, like make it into stock maps. I think that's one of the things I'm more looking forward to. Because one thing I've said is, like, in TF2, new weapons are great and all. It lacks new maps. There's not been many new maps, and the new maps we have had are, like, still all in beta.
I remember they promised a new map a while back. the end of the line update, they just never gave us the map.
Yeah, like
No, they stopped that, didn't they? They actually said no.
They said
yeah.
it was too complex.
then they released Manpower.
You know what's the worst though? Is their like speedrunners crossover map or idea as a game mode.
Yeah, that's Manpower. It's more complex than that.
It's just horrible.
Yeah.
It's just why? like the hooks are horrible. I find it funny when you can hook onto someone and just like fling around with them until they die. But getting power-ups and everything is just like that's just making the game something completely different. Like, it makes it feel like those generic free-to-plays which tried to copy TF2.
Oh yeah.
Fail.
Yeah, no,
and
I
it's like
agree,
Team
actually.
Fortress is going to that point and going to fuck themselves over.
I don't think Team Fortress 2 has that many years in it.
It's got to stop.
Unless
Valve have got to
competitive
stop there.
is huge.
To be fair, it's gone from
Like you said, Ben, it's on its last legs. I think they said that.
it's gone from 2007 on to it's had a really good lifespan. What I really want them to do, honestly, is the best way I think TF2 could go now, like add the matchmaking, whatever. What I think they should do is literally hand the game over to the community entirely. So every still have they've got a team of 5 on it now, I think, or something. A team of 5 people like maintain TF2.
Still making an awful lot of money on it.
Oh, that will always be the case.
And what I think they should do is literally the top rated stuff on the workshop. First of all, open up the workshops like you can submit maps here now. And every few months, add a bunch of new weapons and a bunch of new maps just submitted by the community. The community could.
Said that.
It's a good idea.
Because I was going to say, for a swift segue into Payday, workshop.
Oh yeah, I really hope they do start introducing workshop.
Give it me.
I'm actually running a bit late for work, so I don't know if you guys want to keep going.
If that's the case,
it.
we should really kind of wrap this up now then.
Yeah,
All
it's
right.
almost an hour and a half.
Talk about workshop in the next one, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Do you want to do
Thanks a
the
lot for
actual?
having me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
it's
really
been
enjoyed it.
it's been an honour to have you, especially
It's
on
been
Yeah.
great, man.
the second episode of a podcast, and it was just
Yeah,
got
man.
someone like you going, "Oh my, like, I'm struggling with words." It's
Just
been great to
fanboy moment.
have I'm a very big fan of your work, but I was really surprised when I first found out you subscribed, and the fact that you were really happy
That's
to
the thing. Like
be
none of us
on the
noticed
show.
you subscribe to us.
Yeah, I
No,
was
I
just,
watched the first episode. I was like, oh yeah, this is good.
I
like
just
it.
Yeah,
looked on
we
my
would,
subs
we
one
would
day and
love
was
to
just like,
have you on the
"Holy
show
shit!"
again, man.
Yeah.
It's like it wasn't until 2 days ago I realized you'd subscribed to me at some point.
I
fanboy.
I like to stay invisible.
But yeah, if we ever have another, I think the next. Actually, I think because it's over, because they do it every year, they're probably gonna have another big crime fest kind of thing. It'd be great if you'd come on again and share. Your
Yeah,
views.
no, I'd absolutely love to. I loved it.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Anytime you want, man, contact us on
Yeah,
Skype,
just
YouTube,
drop us a
whatever.
message.
All right, brilliant. Thank you very much.
So I
Alright,
guess.
so
yeah.
Everyone, thank you guys for watching Push to Talk episode 2. If you guys are watching this on Kknowley's channel, be sure to come over and give us some love. If you guys are watching it on our channel, go ahead over to Kknowley's channel, drop a like on this
There'll
video.
be
So,
links in the description for everybody who's been.
yeah,
part of
links
this.
for
Yeah.
everything.
I don't put these on my channel, so give me
Yeah.
love.
All right, well, thanks for
To
watching,
quote
guys.
another Payday
Thanks for coming, Kknowley.
tuber who maybe we can get on here one day.
Yeah, maybe.
Right, yeah, thanks a lot for watching.
Bye, guys.
Cheers.
Bye.
Good night.